We're in Microsoft OneNote and we're going to work on a new notebook. You go down to the bottom here where it says unfiled notes or unfiled notes and right click. Click on new notebook, which I already did. And I put the name of it, which was the Calamity Girl in the Haunted House. I clicked on blank and then I hit next. And then it creates it, okay? So I'm not going to do that now because I already did it. So this is the name of the notebook up here. I made something called Scene Ideas, which is what I was working on, because it auto saves, and with the power going on and off today, it's a good idea to have that, and it does back it up if your power goes out. Then A, it's just going to be section A, and then I've got all the notes written down, which I showed you in the other video, which I realized you really can't see nothing. So I got my scene ideas written down, I got characters' names, and I've got ideas of what happens to them. It's kind of blurry, but that's what I'm going to type up in this section here, and I'm just going to type up the scene ideas, and I can copy and paste it into Word and just print it up for or I can leave it like this. I usually leave it like this, but when I start organizing the actual outline, then I take it and type it up, and I put numbers beside where I want these scenes to go into what chapter. And this is my mind mapping. This is how you do mind mapping, and then you do your mind mapping in there. Mind mapping is basically the name of the character and different events that can happen around them and where they are. So Rachel and Michael are going to live in a penthouse together. They're going to a hotel in Dublin, which I have to look up. So there's a question mark, so I have to look that up if there's a question mark. They're going to an Ireland castle. How are they going to get there? They're going to fly. And then there's different characters they're going to bump into. What are they going to do? They're going to go to a restaurant, food dishes, so I have to find a restaurant in Ireland. And when I do that, I go into Google and I'll go to Dublin, Ireland restaurants. Okay? Dublin, Ireland, and then do restaurants. Okay, so this will show me an area of 1,400 restaurants. So there's 1,400 restaurants to choose from, so I can either do that, or if I want them to stay near to this castle, I would map it to see what restaurants are close by. And since it's near the North Channel, or I would do Dublin Castle. Try this. Dublin, Ireland restaurants. Let's see, Dublin, Ireland Castle, and then restaurants. There, Dublin Castle Neighborhood Grill. So it brought up that they have a neighborhood grill by the Dublin Castle. Okay. Neighboring grills, and then you can a pub and grill, New Westminster, down here. So that's New Westminster, BC. So that's not the right one. Oh, so I do have to put Ireland. I didn't know there was two Dublins. See, this is what you find out when you use the internet. Dublin, Ireland. French restaurant, La Maison restaurant. That sounds interesting. So what I would do is I would find a restaurant that I like, and I click on them. See, and I make sure that there's a gallery of pictures so I can describe the restaurant in my book, because I've never been there. So I'm going to go to the gallery and see what they've got. And this is perfect because it shows me what the interior looks like. So I'll be able to download this into my settings file, which I do in Word, or I can do it in OneNote, your choice. So I already did a video on how to insert a picture into a Word document. And this is my settings document showing the different settings where I want my characters to go. So you can do it in Word, which doesn't auto-save. I usually do it in OneNote. But then I found I forgot to do it in Word. I don't know. I go back and forth. I use both to show people, because not everybody has OneNote because it's expensive to buy. Everybody has Word, usually. So that's what I do. So I would find a picture with a hotel with, or restaurant, sorry, with pictures in it. This shows me what it looks like. It also shows me, if I can get into it again, it shows me what kind of foods they serve. So they serve a type of steak. And there's a video play with it. It goes to the next photo. chicken, or that could be roast duck, whatever it is, peaches or something. So then that goes there, and then go to the menus, and then there's different menus. There's a lunch menu, so I can say, well, my characters went there and they had le potage du marché, which is soup of the day, and then I have to find out what kind of soups they serve, so I'm not going to do that because it doesn't tell me on here. So I'm going to stick to something that is actually on the menu. Caramelized peach with ice cream and red berry coulis. So peach Melba, I'll get them to order it, and then they can ask the waitress what's in it, and then I can tell them based on what I see on here. So it gives you a bit of dialogue ideas for your characters. You know, they can talk about whether they liked it. They could have bad experiences. Do not tell anything truthful about a restaurant that you didn't like, because you can be sued for that. What you can say is that you went to a restaurant that served a certain dish, and you know what happened with the dish. I have lots of stories to tell about that because I do restaurant reviews. I have some very interesting stories to tell about that. Anyways, so that's how you do that. And then back here, again, if you want to insert a picture into Microsoft OneNote, again, you do the insert, you click on pictures, and it's the same thing, pictures from files, and we go to our, it goes automatically to your pictures file, so go to my documents and go to downloads. Then we'll do this castle thing again here. Insert the castle into here, and it's easier to work with in this program than Word, I find. You click on there, you get the little cross, you click on the cross, and then the little sizing arrows where it's 2 arrows. I can't zoom in with this camera. I will get a better camera in the future, but right now this is, see the cross of the thing? And then if I go on the lines, it goes up and down or side to side if I want to size my picture, because you don't want it too big, because it actually takes up space on your computer and it can really slow your computer down. So for a setting, what you do, make your picture small. When you go to write, make it bigger. Oh, okay, so my settings says I've got ivy climbing up the side of the castle. I've got some greenery here. I mean, you can look up the types of greenery that grows in Ireland. I'm working on Ireland, so we could do vegetation in Ireland, Dublin, Ireland. And I can't type. So vegetation, Dublin, Ireland. We'll see if there's a file that tells us about that on Google. Geography of Ireland. Okay, so you click on that. It tells you about the physical landscape, the climate, soils. This is a perfect file to put in for Ireland information. So I'm going to copy and paste that into, I'm going to do a new page, and I'm going to call it landscape info. Okay, and then I would just click on this link and it will take me to this website, and I can look up the physical landscape, which it tells you the 2 great mountain systems of Europe north of the Alps. Gives you some names of rivers, climate. This is perfect, because then when you're writing your story in and around Ireland, you want to know a little bit about it, because I've never been there in my life, and I don't know, I know absolutely nothing about Ireland, other than I love the Irish accent, and I actually have Irish in my bloodline, so like my background. So, and it talks about agriculture, forestry. So you can actually use little tidbits from this if you want to add some true facts to your story, which I like to do truth in fiction. I always add stuff like that, little interesting things. Gives you something for your characters to talk about. And since my characters are coming in from New York City and Toronto, Ontario, Canada, and USA, they've never been to Ireland, so they're going to want to learn a little bit about the area. So this is a good way to find out about everything that you want to know. History of Ireland, you can talk about history or legends of Ireland. That's an interesting topic for characters. We have flora of Ireland. I like this because these were the flowers that was in that picture with that castle. So these are called, doesn't tell me what kind it is. Dryas octopala. Oh, that's complicated. So they're called so you could talk about those type of flowers. The heath, it talks about the heath, the fens, raised bog, blanket bog. I mean, these are words I've never heard before. But this is Scanva Lily Low Mask. Oh, sorry, you can't see the pictures. I'm sorry. See, here's the pictures of those flowers. Dryas octopella. This one's called Dabokika cantabrica and Ulex gali, whatever. Okay, so grasslands and forests. It tells you about the grasslands. So Irish flora. So I'm going to add that into my notes because I want to know the landscape information. I need to know about the flora. And it says herbs and flora in the link, so I don't have to write down what it is. And I'm going to just copy this image. And this is another thing I like about this program, is you copy and paste into it. Whereas Word documents, you always have to insert. You can't. I don't know if you can copy and paste. Let me try it. Let's go over to this one and see if we can paste this into here. Well, look at that. You can copy. I didn't have to insert the picture after all. Whoops. Anyways, there's inserting and there's copying and pasting pictures right into your documents, okay? So that's how you do it. Thanks for watching.